Well, for more, we can cross now to Jerusalem to speak with ABC correspondent Jordana Miller. Hi, Jordana. The Kerem Shalom border crossing into Gaza from Israel is closed. The Rafah border crossing from Egypt is closed. Israel now under increasing pressure to open those border crossings, Jordana.
Absolutely. And we heard that pressure coming, as we saw in that story from the White House. A White House official said that Israel has confirmed or pledged to reopen the Kerem Shalom crossing today, Wednesday. We'll have to wait and see if that happens. Remember, that crossing was closed over the weekend after Hamas launched a deadly attack on soldiers from around the Rafah crossing that killed 4 Israelis and injured 10 others, and damaged the crossing. So it is been closed, we've been told, for security reasons. But of course, it is one of the main, it is the main site where all of the trucks that go into the Gaza Strip at first were inspected, and now they're inspected and crossed through that area, through the Kerem Shalom crossing. So it's key that it reopen. Of course, the Rafah crossing is also the other main entry point. And, you know, a lot of questions about how long it's going to remain closed, and of obviously the threat that it poses if it's closed to the people of Gaza, who we had just begun to see a real improvement, a significant improvement over the last month, sometimes almost 400 trucks getting into the Gaza Strip, and a lot of them through Rafah. And now, if it's shut, of course, it jeopardizes that aid getting in, which is so important for the people there who we know are suffering. 80% of Gazans are displaced. As we see from the pictures, you know, they're living in tent cities. There's poor sanitation. Many are fighting hunger, and some are facing famine in northern Gaza. Remember, the Kerem Shalom and the Rafah crossing are 2 of the 4 land crossings that Israel's using. There are 2 others in the north, the Erez crossing and an area called the Passage 96. But it has to be said that both of those northern crossings opened relatively recently. They haven't ramped up. We haven't seen 200 trucks a day go through there. So really the main entry points remain the southern points, and the coastal entry, the maritime shipments that have come, they're coming, and there haven't been very many. They're stopping at the improvised jetty, and the American-built pier that the American Army has built. They are finished building it, but they haven't moved it from the Ashdod port and actually installed it off the coast of Gaza because of weather conditions. So that still, the main maritime entry for aid still is not up and running. All of this raising more concern about how many days the Rafah crossing will be closed and the Kerem Shalom, and also the issue of who will run the Rafah border crossing now that Israel has taken it over. It's a major, it facilitates not only aid, but civilian passage. And the Gazan police that were formerly running it and believed to have been linked to Hamas are no longer controlling it. So who's going to control it? Is it going to be the Israeli army? Are there going to be NGOs there? So we're going to have to wait and see. The plan is for Kerem Shalom to open today.
Meanwhile, the US is confirming that it's paused a shipment of bombs to Israel over concerns they would be used in Rafah. What's the reaction to that in Israel today?
Well, in Israel, it's being downplayed, but of course, it sends a very strong message from the American administration. This is really an unprecedented step. These are shipments of heavy-duty bombs, 2,000-pound bombs, that the Americans are weighing whether or not to send to Israel. They're trying to send a message about the Rafah operation. We've heard the administration repeatedly and consistently say, from President Biden down to other senior officials, that they oppose a major military operation in Rafah. The Americans seem unsatisfied with the evacuation plans that Israel has shown them. And the Americans have been talking for weeks now with the Israelis about the other options for, getting to and dismantling and fighting Hamas's last battalions there in the city of Rafah. We saw Israel, just a couple of days ago, take over the Rafah border crossing. That was a limited operation. They asked about 100,000 Gazans to move. That is more in line with the kind of operations that Washington wants to see throughout Rafah. That is targeted operations that move some people out, but really secure the safety of civilians. And it's clear that the United States doesn't feel convinced that Israel is prepared or willing to do that right now, and pausing these very heavy-duty weapons is one way of getting Israel to, again, rethink possibly the way they're going to go after Hamas in Rafah.
Jordana Miller reporting live there from Jerusalem. Thank you very much.
Thanks.